Got to remember that in the 1970s, most of the guys running Cup were 30 and 40 years old. He was only the second rookie in the modern era to go to victory lane. It didn't happen. Earnhardt ran in the top 5, top 10 most of the day. And then Baker fell out, a couple of the other leaders fell out, and Earnhardt started leading laps. And then I think something probably changed inside the helmet for Dale Earnhardt, because now all of a sudden he's in the lead and he's competitive, and he's the guy to beat now. And so he actually had to outrun Bobby Allison and Darrell Waltrip that day to take the win. Outran Waltrip, and then Waltrip got passed late in the day. Allison got second with maybe 5 laps to go. But there was no catching that blue and yellow number.
And the white flag. 1 lap to go for Dale Earnhardt, seeking his first win of the season. But still, he was the point leader coming in, and Earnhardt right now just about 2/3 of a lap away from picking up his first win of 1980 and adding to that point lead.
Dale Earnhardt, a very talented young man indeed. To win the Rookie of the Year last year and to come in and start this season was a tremendous success is impressive. It must confirm all the fears that the established drivers had last year when they saw him, because at that time they thought this one is going to be a good one.
And the checkered flag for the 28-year-old Earnhardt out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, winning the Atlanta 500. Rusty Wallace, a big star on the USAC Stock Car Trail, makes his NASCAR debut by finishing second. A most impressive showing, and the veteran from Ewingtown, Alabama, in car number 50.
Way into second place. The white flag is out for Dale Earnhardt. 1.5 miles to go. 500 miles will be complete in just a matter of seconds now. This position is almost completely assured. But here is the battle. Baker sets himself up in Yarborough's draft. If he can take advantage of that draft, start out around to the left and on into second place. Here's Dale Earnhardt off the 4th turn and down toward the checkered flag. Victory belongs to Dale Earnhardt. Let's watch for second place.
Found a different place to run. The white flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Rusty Wallace. Let's see how he handles the traffic ahead of him. Bill Elliott is right there. Rusty Wallace moving high off the 2nd corner. Leading down the backstretch. Ernie Irvan will try to make a final move. He taps Rusty. Here they come off the corner. They're side by side. It looks like Rusty Wallace is going to win by about a half a car length. Oh, another exciting Bristol finish. And the battle for the spot back in 6th, 7th, and 8th goes to Darrell Waltrip over Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Spencer.
Cars can receive assistance from crew members and other cars, but they can't on the last lap. As Ned Jarrett said, they did this for a couple of laps so that he would conserve fuel. He would have gasoline for that final lap.
And here he comes. He is following the pace truck down pit road as the red and the checkered flags, actually the white and the checkered flags, are being displayed by Doyle Ford. There it is. The checkered flag is out, and Rusty Wallace has made it down pit road and has completed the lap unassisted. And Rusty Wallace has won the Miller Genuine Draft 500. How interesting that this car, sponsored by Miller Genuine Draft, wins the race that is sponsored by the same company.
Last year, it was just the opposite. Jeff Bodine won the race in a car sponsored by Budweiser.
And the
Joe used to be after race to go down to the motel and watch him. He was a clown diver for Sun Circuit. He was terrific. Doesn't do that anymore. Got his war face on out there tonight. What a heck of a guy.
Well, they turned this into a 3-ring circus tonight for themselves.
Out to be a big splash in the pool of champagne in Victory Lane for Rusty Wallace. 1989 Winston Cup champions under a white flag. Getting ready to wrap it up. Checkers are down, and Rusty Wallace has finally done it. Put one together in 1992. The Miller car comes home in first in their own race.
Left there with Gant, and maybe people carried over to Earnhardt something that's helped him. He certainly ran better at this racetrack.
Both ran well today, but Gant's car in the garage. Last time around the park. And in front of Rusty Wallace, pretty clear sailing. Darrell Waltrip ahead, but down on the bottom, out of harm's way. Rusty Wallace comes off turn number 4. Earnhardt is closing it up, but will run out of time. Wallace scores his 3rd Rockingham win. Buddy Parrish gets the done. He's going to pick up $60,800 in Unocal bonus.
White flag comes out this time for Rusty Wallace. Not only is he going to win this race, he's going to pick up $60,800 in Unocal bonus money. This will be the third time he's won that Unocal bonus. Second place will continue to watch for you as Earnhardt remains ahead of Kyle Petty. Here is Rusty Wallace in the third turn, now the fourth turn, and the Food City 500 win is his. Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt second, followed by Kyle Petty. Here is fourth.
Well, Ford's got that flag in his hand. He starts waving it.
One more to go for Rusty Wallace, and he'll win his 24th career NASCAR Winston Cup race, second straight, third this season, and become the new points leader in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Here's the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac off the fourth corner. Rusty raises the hand, and he wins the first Union.
Big smile from you. He's about a half a lap away from 3 in a row. Congratulations.
I tell you what, it's really a great win. You know, I said Wilkesboro was a handling situation, but today it's a mechanical situation. You know, the guys in the chassis shop and the guys, the whole guys, everybody that did the brakes, everything. We won this race today because of maintenance. The car handled great, but still, it lived all day. Earnhardt had a problem with the motor, and this for David Evans. His father had a heart attack.
Austin caught it. One to go. Last time around for Rusty Wallace, and this battle for second place.
Davy's going to swing out wide, try to cut the car back down to the bottom. There's Rusty coming off. He's checking out on him.
Here's second place. Davy's got one more shot here at turn 3 to take second place money.
He actually had a little bit better run on the white flag lap.
He did. Rusty's going to come off turn 4 to score his 26th career victory, tying him with Hall of Famer Fred Lorenzen. Mark Martin by a car length holds off Davey Allison 4 seconds. Fourth will go to Dale Jarrett.
White flag is out. 1 to go. Rusty Wallace is there. Martin is back in 5th spot. The string will end at 4. Down the back straightaway, it's Rusty Wallace in front. Elliott making one final stab. It is not enough. Rusty Wallace has done it. He's just won his 27th Winston Cup victory. And he did it.
White flag. Look at Buddy Barrett. He don't look like he's worried.
Last time around, here's the race score for it.
That's right.
Only 3 drivers have won at Dover from the pole. David Pearson in 73, Cale Yarborough in 76, Bill Elliott in 1990. Make that 4. Rusty Wallace indicating one more lap to go. There it is. Just one more lap around this 5-8-mile racetrack here in North Wilkesboro, and the victory will belong to Rusty Wallace, looking for his 8th win of the season and his 29th career NASCAR Winston Cup victory in 296 starts. Here comes the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac off of corner number 4. Rusty Wallace has won the Tyson Holly Farm 400. Dale Earnhardt finishes in 2nd position. And we're watching for Ernie Irvin to come by in 3rd.
He does. Oh, and the water bucket goes on somebody.
4 seconds away. White flag for Rusty Wallace. He started his streak in February here at Rockingham, winning his first race of the season. And since the June race at Pocono, he has finished on the lead lap every single race.
Boys, I can't wait to get out there to Arizona. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a shootout right to the last.
That's 1 week from today. For the 9th time this season, Rusty Wallace and the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac take the checkered
Flag for Rusty. 28 flag.
It carries the 28.
And look here.
Allison.
And look, Earnhardt has the 7th flag.
All right, that's neat.
A fitting tribute to the 2 tremendous race drivers that we lost this year, Alan Kowicki and Davey Allison. and the Polish victory lap that Alan Kulwicki was so famous for. His flag is being carried by Dale Earnhardt, the champion. Davey Allison's flag is being carried by the winner of the race, Rusty Wallace. The crowd is cheering and waving in happiness, but you know that in many eyes there are tears. Well, the last lap is here. Rusty Wallace is picking up right where he left off last year, crashing at Daytona and winning at Rockingham. The battle will be for second place to the flag. It'll be Wallace picking up his first win of the season as he comes off turn number 4. Mark Martin right behind him in 4th place, but 4-second spot. Here they come off the corner.
The NFL draft in one more lap. Rusty Wallace leads Ernie Irvan. And Rusty is about to pick up $98,800 in Unocal bonus money by winning the Haynes 500 here this afternoon. If he can negotiate turns 3 and 4 and take the checkered flag, here he comes off the 4th corner, and Rusty Wallace wins the Haynes 500 by just 4 or 5 car lengths over Ernie Irvan.
From the helicopter, Rusty Wallace will take the white flag, looking for back-to-back wins. Budweiser 500. Ernie Irvan trying to draw close. 4 car lengths.
You've done this before. Bring him home.
Hey, this is great, man. This is going to be an all-Wallace weekend. Mike won yesterday, and here comes Rusty off of turn 4. He's going to win it. He's going to win the Bud 500. It's a big victory for the Wallaces this week. It was a all-Wallace sweep.
And Mark Martin just holds off Jeff Gordon by 2 feet. And takes
that pass to the left
until the start-finish line. Here they come. All those lead lap cars. Watch Schrader trying to get in it from the outside here.
Jeff Gordon to the inside. Rusty had to make a counter move to the inside. He's up beside Earnhardt by.
Jeff Gordon, black flag. You have 3 laps to acknowledge it. It's only 1 lap left. And it's Wallace to the front. They sweep around. Earnhardt, Wallace down to the inside. Final lap, 2 corners from home. Earnhardt is right there.
Rusty Wallace just answered the question. How deep can you drive a car into number 1? That's as hard as you can make it.
Kenny Schrader is up to 4th behind Jeff Gordon. Turn 3. Final corner.
These lap cars are going to play a factor. Let's see what happens.
Big chunk of cars in front of the leader. Earnhardt looks slow. Jeff Gordon looks slower, but it's all Rusty Wallace. 2 in a row. Big crash at turn 3. Little surprise that on this final
length advantage. White flag is out. 1 to go. The engine stalled as he came down out of fuel. Buddy Parrott threw his heart and soul into it. Got him back in the event. It looks like it's going to pay off. Mark Martin making another stab.
Couldn't do it. Earnhardt just flat drove in there as hard as he has all day long, kept the position.
But give Martin the Medal of Honor for courage in this one. Checkers ready to fly. And the 36th career win for Rusty Wallace is scored on Father's Day 1994, his 5th of the season. And Earnhardt pulls to within 72 points of the Winston
White flag. 1 more to go. Let's see how Wallace and Martin end this thing
of the second corner, and Rusty Wallace goes to the inside of Ken Schrader.
That's
So
what
does
he wanted.
Martin. But Rusty Wallace is going to win it. Here's the checkered flag. Wallace wins.
Can you see a fuel pressure gauge in there?
I guarantee you, whether they're sputtering or not, he thinks it is.
And look at the left rear.
That's why.
Left rear
That's
tire.
another reason.
But as long as he's going forward, they can't pass him. Can you believe it?
He can coast now.
Checkered flag. 38th career win for Rusty Wallace and the 7th this season. Hard to believe.
When you talk about that right rear on Jeff Gordon's car, Ned, look, he's just in front of Rusty Wallace to be lapped.
Yep. Back to the 11th spot. He's the last car on the lead lap. But the final lap at Martinsville Speedway, Rusty Wallace coming through turns 3 and 4, and Wallace will pick up his 4th victory at Martinsville, his 8th in 1994. He takes the checkered flag and waves to the crowd. His 3rd win on the short tracks here this season.
Here's the race, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Musgrave, Jeff Gordon and Darrell Waltrip.
And look at Waltrip put the heat on Jeff Gordon for 3rd. Wallace, meanwhile, is in turn number 3. He's off the corner. And Rusty Wallace wins. Musgrave, Gordon, Waltrip, and Mark Martin are the top 5. Rusty Wallace wins his 3rd straight here at Martinsville, his 4th win in the last 5 events.
Right here, and there he is waving as he crosses the line. And the battle for 2nd at the stripe. How about Terry Labonte?
And the white flag comes out for Rusty Wallace.
Oh, the 41 car spins, Ricky Craven. Here comes Rusty.
No caution.
And Ricky gets the car going again.
Does a nice 360, keeps going. We're on the final lap. Rusty Wallace is just behind Ricky Craven. Here comes Rusty off of corner number 4. And Rusty Wallace wins his 1st event of 1996. His 43rd career win and his 19th short track event.
Jeff Gordon.
White flag is out. 4 laps to go. There's Ken Schrader, who is 8th. Bobby Labonte is 9th. And Ward Burton is in 10th position. They come up the hill for the final time under competition. There's Jeff Gordon, who has Ricky Rudd all over him. Rusty Wallace continues to lead, but the advantage is less than a car length over Martin. Downhill they come now to corner number 5 and then to number 6.
That's where Mark Martin got past last year. He was hoping that he might return the favor to a different driver this year, but he didn't pass Rusty there as he come out of turn 6 here now. Still Rusty out front as they head into turn 7. Martin will try to outbreak him coming into this turn, but Rusty has been driving hard coming into this turn. I think he'll be able to hold him off. And here comes Dallenbach. He's moving in closer as well. Earnhardt down on the inside. No passes made here. Folks, there it is. They are going as hard as they can possibly go and keep that car going straight. Rusty Wallace, the 2 car. Mark Martin in the 6th. Wally Dallenbach, the 15. 1, 2, 3. Charge towards me. Turn 11 one more time.
It's going to have to happen here, Benny, if it's going to happen.
Does Mark have anything for Rusty? He tries. He's hard on the inside. Now he comes off, tries to get to the inside. He can't make it. Rusty Wallace accelerates towards you, and I think the victory, Bob.
Let's see if he can hold him off. It looks like he's going to. He pulls ahead. Rusty Wallace wins the Save-Mart Supermarket 300, his 2nd win of 1996, and his 2nd here at Sears Point, his 43rd career win and 6th on a road course. He also gives Ford its 3rd.
I'm not sure about that. You see the 5 car of Terry Labonte moving in. That's the 3rd car in the screen right there. He's really moving in a hurry.
Here it comes. Last lap. Has Wallace got enough to get there? Looking back, you see Terry Labonte right there in 2nd spot.
Sterling Marlin just passed Jimmy Spencer for 3rd.
Down the backstretch, final time. Still steady. Not a sign of a burp on that number 2.
This is the corner that matters. He comes off under power. He can knock it in neutral and almost win the race coasting.
He's going to do it.
And moving up is Labonte, but having this field covered. The 44th career win for Rusty Wallace happens today in the 28th annual Michigan 400.
He's coming out, Ken.
Final lap. And will that 2-car draft overtake the leader? They've got enough between them. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Wallace in front. Scoots into the first turn for the final lap. Dale Jarrett closes up on Ricky Rudd. They shuffle a little out of turn number 2. Take it to the outside all the way. Anything left, give it all now.
See Rusty pulled it inside there to cut off the draft to Ricky Rudd going down the back straight there. It also helped him gain just a little bit on Jarrett down that back straightaway.
At the end of 500 miles here today, you've got 3 Thunderbirds thundering toward the finish line into turn 3 for the final time. Coming into the main straightaway and down the stretch. Here comes Jarrett to the inside on Rudd as they come to the stripe. For the 45th time, Rusty Wallace has won. Ricky Rudd is going to get second spot by about
3 and 4. Here's the white flag, 1 to go. Interval remains about the same. There's Gordon in second, Mark Martin in third. Rusty Wallace brings it off the 4th corner and wins the Goodies Headache Powder 500. Rusty Wallace, his 6th victory here at Bristol. 46th career.
More lap to go. Bodine and Jarrett continue to pound on each other behind Rusty Wallace. All of that action is helping Rusty Wallace pull away from the rest of the field. It looks like he's going to be able to do it and win the race. The question is, who's going to finish second? Now Jeff Bodine has pulled ahead of Dale Jarrett for second position. Off of corner number 4, and Rusty Wallace wins the Pontiac Excitement 400.
Jeff Bodine will be second. Dale Jarrett.
Welcome back, everybody, to Phoenix International Raceway, where although the rain has slackened, it has not stopped. And the Duralube Kmart 500 has been called an official race, and Rusty Wallace is today's winner. Rusty started 6th and dominated throughout the course of the day. Victory Lane is being held under cover in the garage.
1 more lap to go. Around the 36-degree banking of Bristol Motor Speedway for the title in the Food City 500.
Well, look at that run. Mark Martin has that time. Oh, tried to get nose under there, but couldn't quite do it.
Got it sideways, but he's not going to be able to do it as Rusty Wallace wins the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway by 22 hundredths of a second over Mark. With Rusty Wallace, but Rusty has been so good here this afternoon. He's on his final tour of the half mile at Bristol. Wallace heads for the checkered flag, becoming the 10th driver to win 50 NASCAR Winston Cup races or more, and its first victory since a year ago here.
The flag is up. Final lap of the Pennsylvania 500. Mayfield tried to complete the Pocono sweep for 2,000. 2.5 miles to go.
Burton on the outside. He's not giving that long line up. He'll get a great run down through there. The race is for second right now.
Rusty to block. Burton to push. And they both closed on Mayfield. Look at this. They ate up Mayfield all over the back of him into the second corner.
Here comes
Mayfield's got a problem. Mayfield's got a flat tire. Here goes Wallace by. Now the race for the win between Wallace and Burton. Mayfield slows on the final lap.
Rusty Wallace gets a good clean entry into turn 3.
Rusty Wallace needing to get off the corner and beat Jeff Burton back to the finish line. Here they come, the final sprint down to the checkered flag. Burton tries to draft up inside. Wallace wins it. Rusty Wallace wins the Pennsylvania 500 when Jeremy Mayfield suffers a flat tire.
Hurting his efforts as Rusty Wallace comes down to the checkered flag. It's Rusty Wallace with the victory. As
As they cross the line, you see where they're going to finish. Benson in fifth.
Event qualifying record. A brand new car. Robin Pemberton and the Penske South crew built and brought to Bristol. Final lap for Rusty Wallace, 44 years of age. Comes up on the rear. The lap car of Jeff Gordon. And the checkered flag will wave for Rusty Wallace. He takes his 4th win of the season, his 53rd career victory.
1 lap to go.
One thing you can bet on Jeff Gordon, he is not going to give up. He's going to give it all he's got, and Rusty gets a little high off turn 2 over there. It's going to allow Gordon to close just a little. He's up at the closest he's been since we got into this run.
3 cars. By 3. That's it.
Darrell, all I think Rusty needs to do is run that same line through 3 and 4 right around the bottom. I don't think Gordon can get him.
Only way he can get him is if Rusty slips, and he's not going to slip.
Looking for his first win in 2001. Rusty Wallace above by 3. And will win it. Rusty Wallace wins California. And it'll be the white flag for Rusty Wallace this time.
One more time.
First time he's seen it in 105 races.
Now all these fans are standing. Now all of them are waving to Rusty Wallace as he goes down the backstretch for the final time off into turn 3.
Gordon gives Newman the boot in turn 2. They're going to be side by side. Here they come to the flag. Rusty Wallace wins the Advance Auto Parts 500 for his 55th career victory. Here's the backwards. Lap car McMurray out of the way. White flag.
Jeff Gordon just got by Matt Kenseth for 3rd space. Harvick's there. He's there.
Oh, and look at this. The 24 just went around. And here comes the 29. Can he get to him?
We're still green.
Still green. Still green. Busch wins it.
Woo! Man, I'm glad it raced over with.
Harvick 2nd. Jeff Gordon who spun out.
2006, he's been waiting a long time to see the white flag with him at the head of the field.
I tell you what, it's been a battle of the beer cars late in the race with Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Looks like the blue car is going to win that battle today. The Miller Lite car of Kurt Busch.
His car started on the front row. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the pole.
But boy, did Junior come back with that shock change. And boy, Jeff Gordon, he knows he's out of time. He's going to try to get all he can out of Denny Hamlin. This is the final lap.
Battle for 3rd spot. Gordon trying to get inside of Hamlin to take the spot away to have back-to-back 3rd place finishes in that car. He got 3rd at Indianapolis, but here's the guy who has been the one to watch all day long. Total domination for Kurt Busch. As he comes through the turn, it would be the 59th win for Roger Penske. And after a 51-race winless streak, Kurt Busch takes the win at Pocono Raceway. He is reeling in the 17 car. That is for the 4th position.
Denny's just got to stay working the top side of the track, guys. That's where he's been the strongest. And see him run up on the bumper of the 17. That's the only chance he's got. He just seems like he can't get it done on the bottom. And as Kurt Busch now is just driving off, just that time definitely quicker than Mark Truex that very last lap. So
Kurt Busch, a 28-year-old driver from Las Vegas, Nevada. He broke a 51-race winless streak at Pocono just 3 weeks ago. Kurt Busch comes down in dominating fashion and wins at Michigan.
This race has ended. NASCAR has declared the race over. Kurt Busch is the race winner.
You know, and I disagree with what Kurt Busch says about, well, maybe we didn't deserve this. You win one of these races, I don't care how you win a cup race today, your team deserves it.
He's got him enough lead. I think he's going to be okay. 1 to go. That 2 car is just too strong for everybody today.
Looks like the battle's going to be for 2nd. Carl Edwards fighting back, though, on the bottom.
On the bottom, you're clear.
Oh, Gordon's got a run. Here he comes.
Boy, Gordon got a great run. He side drafted off of Carl Edwards, and down the back we go.
Watch him. He's going to pack it down into turn 3, this 24 car. See if he can stick.
He can't do it. That Busch 2 car is just on a rail today.
Versus Big Daddy Kurt Busch, Roger Penske win in Atlanta. 19th career victory for Kurt Busch, who started on
the white flag that time by.
Take care of it, bring it to the house.
Kurt Busch trying to milk it for one more lap. He has never won at Texas Motor Speedway.
And Kyle Busch still sitting on pit road, not able to get refired. Just barely rolling.
Kurt Busch's lone win in 2009 was on a 1.5-mile track, a sister track to this one at Atlanta Motor Speedway down in March. A year ago, Carl Edwards stretched the fuel mileage and won it here. And once again tonight, the fuel mileage works, and Kurt Busch will go to victory lane here at Texas.
He is running time trial laps. He doesn't have Kenseth on his bumper. The next flag ends the race.
All right. We're in the money lap now.
Menard holding a top 5 against Allmendinger, Vickers, and Biffle.
And he's holding a top 5 with only 2 fresh tires right now.
Kenseth closing the gap. Kurt Busch off turn number 4. Kurt Busch is going to win it for Roger Penske. The Blue Deuce goes to victory lane again in Atlanta. Clean and green finish.
You have to be white flags in the air, but you got to also be impressed with the 18 car, Larry. Overcome all the adversity they did, and he's sitting here. He's going to come home in 3rd place. That's an impressive run as well.
McMurray cuts it down to 87 hundredths. A big waggle off turn 4 last time. He is so agonizing close to giving Chip Ganassi the Memorial Day double.
Well, the old vortex theory, she worked in, Mike.
Because we just made a clean sweep of their checkbook.
Roger Penske prevails. Kurt Busch wins the Coca-Cola.
Never been to victory lane as a Sprint Cup Series crew chief.
White flag. Do you have enough fumes to get to the finish line?
Well, he's got enough lead. Doesn't have to worry about that.
3.5, 3.4, 3.3. 3.2.
Guy looks like
Earnhardt's coming.
He looks like he's crawling there. I swear he's not going very fast at all.
3 seconds.
If he can get in here, and if he can get this thing headed toward the start-finish line.
Half a mile to go. 2.9.
You can coast from there. You can shut it off and coast.
2.8. Brad Keselowski survives and wins in Kansas.
We finally caught a break, Paul. Awesome call, man. Good job, guys.
Position, Keselowski got the lead after Kyle Busch had to fight off Jimmy Johnson on a late restart, and the white flag is up. There's 1 lap to go.
Looks like Jimmy's going to get by Kurt Busch. Let's go side by side. Boy, the position that this will put Brad Keselowski in, he's inside the top 20 with this, and then having 2 victories. He's still got a long way to go, though. He's got to go through the tunnel turn and turn 3. Yeah, but I like my chance with him. See Kurt Busch fighting back with Jimmy here. If they touch coming down the back straightaway.
That could get ugly.
It's getting ugly.
It's getting ugly. Wow, that's a high-speed part of the racetrack to be doing that.
Maybe a crossover move coming right here. Yep. Or into the rear bumper, one of the two. See Jimmy's car smoking.
Maybe he's got a little fender damage in on a tire. While up front, the story of this one is going to be the young man who came back from a terrible crash on Wednesday of this week and has gutted out a win at Pocono Raceway as Kyle Busch tries off the final corner. He'll come up 1 spot short. How about Brad Keselowski winning at Pocono?
That's impressive.
Brad Keselowski 1 lap away from a win at Bristol. Truex and Gordon trying to chase him down. Do they get a break in traffic? Or does the Blue Deuce roll to Bristol's victory lane again? Gordon 1 more bid for second, but it's not going to be enough to catch Brad Keselowski. He wins at Thunder Valley. What a remarkable run in the summer of 2011 for the young man from Michigan.
Between Keselowski and the finish line.
White flag in the air. 1 to go.
You're clear. 5 down. Go ahead a minute. You're nervous. Don't worry. It's got plenty of fuel.
Dale Jr. off the pace. And here comes Brad Keselowski for Roger Penske. 5th career Sprint Cup victory in 93 starts. Keselowski wins as they come to the line. 1 to go.
Well, you don't want to lead on the last lap, but I'm not sure that that's going to work out the way Matt thought it was when this is the white flag lap.
Junior up the outside. Somebody steaming. In that pair, it's Kyle Busch. Casey Kane.
And the problem with that, he's got no help. He's all by himself.
But think about Kyle Busch. He lost the race yesterday by leading coming back to the checkered flag.
And also think about the move in the trial over here. Think about
It's a two-horse race. Clint Boyer's gone Stanley Steamer. Up in turn number 3.
Hey, boys.
A car length apart, Kyle Busch from Keselowski.
It ain't over yet. Remember that start-finish line.
I don't think he's close enough, Darrell. I don't think he's close enough.
Brad Keselowski pulling away. It's all happening behind him, and Keselowski for the second time will go to victory lane in Talladega.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Look at it from that perspective, because this was a place, if he would have been in the right position,
Points-wise, it doesn't matter.
Points-wise, it doesn't matter, but a W in the column would have put him in the chase.
Final lap for Brad Keselowski. Onto the back straightaway, trying to save fuel.
Tell me, please. Plenty of room, you can coast around.
He's feeling good now.
Great job by Brad.
Brad Keselowski going to become the first driver to get the hat trick in 2012.
Come get this flag. We'll exchange it for another one, bud.
His third win of the year coming at Kentucky.
Great job, Paul. Great job, everybody. Hard work equals results. Y'all did it. I know this is a hell of a weekend with a lot of work, but this is what you get when you work hard, guys.
It's about one more lap till Miller time, Brad.
White flag is up. Brad Keselowski led the second most laps in this race. Jimmy Johnson started on pole and dominated much of the event. Brad, the guy who led the second most laps, but was trailing Jimmy Johnson heading into the final pit stops, and he made up a 1.1 second deficit to wrestle the lead away from the 5-time champ coming off the pit lane, and he's pulled away from there. Fourth win of the season, chase win number 1, Chicagoland to Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, great job, everybody. Great job. I'm proud of you, everybody. Thank you, thank you.
Charge at the finish. 1 lap to go. Does the 2 have enough fuel to make it around this monster mile 1 more lap?
Still pulling.
They're going to play the strategy just right and get another win in 2012. Brad Keselowski wins at Dover. And 1 lap from now, Keselowski could get his first win of this season. Martin Truex on pit road on this last lap as Matt Kenseth fights for second with Casey Kane. The championship, they're going to play to a draw tonight here in Charlotte. And for the first time in a long time, a non-chaser's going to win a race. Brad Keselowski takes the checkered flag after a terrific late fight in Charlotte.
And the white flag will be waving with Keselowski half a second behind. All right, which lane? Junior up high, Keselowski middle.
But
down low.
he knows he keeps getting that good run on the high side off of 2.
But Keselowski closer.
Oh, he's out.
He's got the lap, and Junior is out of gas.
3/4 of a lap. You're out.
Oh.
It's back running, though. It's back running. It's probably not. It's going to keep surging on him.
Yeah.
And Brad Keselowski comes off the corner. Hole in one for the captain. Checkered flag for Keselowski.
Wow.
What a weekend.
Wow.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
The engine has held together, but he's absolutely running this thing wide open around the racetrack to keep up the momentum to keep plugging along.
Final lap for Brad Keselowski. Started on the pole, 6th time in his career, but he has never won from the pole in his Sprint Cup career. When Brad won here in 2012, he led 68 laps. Tonight, he simply took him behind the woodshed, leading 199 of 267. Brad Keselowski wins it at Kentucky.
Hell yeah, guys. This feels like championship.
Sees the white flag, and the next one will end it.
It would be the 4th straight win for Ford this season. They haven't won 4 in a row since all the way back in 2001.
I don't know how they're not wrecking behind them right now.
And 2 of those victories going to belong to Brad Keselowski. He dominates again.
Thank you very much, Paul. You're spoiling me.
First career win for Brad Keselowski here in New Hampshire.
Amazing. It takes me back to probably when Jeff Burton won at New Hampshire with leading all the laps up there.
Well, this is actually the greatest percentage of laps led in a race since that win from Burton at New Hampshire. Final half a lap for Brad Keselowski. He will have led 383 of 400 laps, becomes the leading winner of this season. 4th victory of the year for Brad Keselowski. He'll be the #1 seed in the chase for the NASCAR.
Back for a loose lug nut.
And we're in the final lap. A lot of folks talked about Hendrick versus Penske for this championship, the speed and the number of wins that those 2 teams have amassed this season. Here's the driver and team that won the most races in the 26 to get into the chase, coming to win the opener of the championship. Just as he did in the year he won the title, Brad Keselowski wins at Chicagoland.
His teammate blowing up at the checkered flag, but he's going to finish 4th.
That's where the piece that I saw of trash wound up lodged. We just didn't have a chance to go back and look at it with all the great racing. To the white flag, Ryan Newman to the outside of Keselowski. Newman leads at that line. Who leads at the next one?
But you got to get back to the front because a caution could happen and you could be out of luck. Keselowski really doesn't have the help that he's going to need to win this race.
And he must win it.
But he's in good shape now because Newman has no push.
Here comes Landon Castle behind Matt Kenseth, behind Brad Keselowski.
But watch Kenseth, he can still make a move.
Landon Castle to the outside, tri-oval, sprint to the checkered flag. Who wins? Brad Keselowski wins it at Talladega.
Going to eat his lunch. Here he comes, baby.
1 to go. Next flag ends the race. And here it is, front straightaway. Greg Biffle crashes with the white flag out. Now here come the leaders. Biffle sitting in the middle of the racetrack. The yellow has not yet flown.
Even if it does right now, the 2 is out front, and he is driving away from Kurt Busch in the 41 and Kevin Harvick in the 4.
And Biffle is driving away.
Let him race.
Finish this under green.
Let him race. Here they come.
Boy, Kurt Busch made a run. It's not going to work there.
He got right to the back bumper of Keselowski.
Correct. Easy.
Bad Brad wins in California.
And guess who finished 2nd? Ford got 2nd.
Keselowski, Harvick, Busch. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
You see Brad Keselowski navigating through lap traffic. Clean track ahead.
Here comes Logano. He's going to make a pass on the 18 going into turn 3 if he can make it stick.
Brad Keselowski off turn number 4 for his 18th Sprint Cup win. Keselowski to the checker, down on the apron. It's Logano 2nd. Johnson waves. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Holy smoly.
Payne to the bottom, trying to get something going. No help.
Kurt Busch just had a big moment, lost a lot of momentum.
He's going up high.
Chase Elliott to the middle.
He's going to get a run here. Here comes a 3 car going to try to give the 18
Chase Elliott breaks out of the pack up to 4th place.
Yeah, but he didn't get clear. He needed to get up in front of that 1 car. I just don't think anybody's going to be able to get enough momentum to get a big enough push to get by this 2. This is the best thing going to happen to him, is them getting side by side behind him.
Just remember where the start-finish line is.
That's right. It's not in the middle of the tri-oval. Keselowski.
Big run coming from the 18. Oh, the 3 stepped out.
Dillon. Kyle Busch and Dillon side trouble. Car
are hard in the wall, 2 of them. Keselowski to the line. Caution had waved, with Keselowski the leader, and crashing are Harvick, Allmendinger, Stenhouse.
One more time around. Brad Keselowski out front. Kurt Busch running second. A big run by Kyle Busch on the outside. Here comes Kyle. Kyle in the 18. He has help from Trevor Bayne in the 6 behind him.
18-6 up top, soft behind the 41.
2 by 2 behind Brad Keselowski. The final time down the backstretch. Joey Logano trying to make the inside line work. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Out of turn 4. They'll see the finish line. Brad Keselowski out front. Around goes Kurt Busch. Keselowski's going to hang on. Keselowski wins at Daytona.
Thank you, guys. Great team effort today. Very proud. Thank you.
He wants to. Kelly.
I think he's out. Brad just a moment ago said, I ran out. They're telling him to flip that switch, flip the switch to get him. It was fuel reserves, but Brad said, I'm going to try to make it, but I'm out.
Can Carl Edwards, though, go the distance as well? So as the 2 is slow on the track, he's wobbling. He's trying to get as much fuel as he can. Coming to the white flag. One more time around, and here comes Carl Edwards. Does he have enough fuel? It's 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One. Brad Keselowski with fuel. He's got it fired up again. He's pulling away from the 19.
2 back. 2 back.
The battle for the win. Brad Keselowski. Does he have enough fuel to get through 3 and 4 into the finish line? Carl Edwards right on his back bumper. Coming out of turn 4. He's going to have enough.
It's a repaint.
Brad Keselowski will win.
Checker flag.
Bank. When they made that extra pit stop to tighten up lug nuts, Keselowski and Paul Wolfe had a brief exchange. It's okay. We'll get there. They are there. 19 races since Keselowski's last victory. That was at Kentucky. He's got 7/10 on Kyle Larson. But for Roger Penske and Ford, Brad Keselowski wins the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Kyle Larson. But for Brad Keselowski, the white flag waves. 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Back straightaway, pulling down on Danica Patrick. Clear sailing to the line. And in his 275th start, Brad Keselowski, Miller Lite Team, Penske and Ford will go to victory lane at Martinsville. 8th place.
There's the lead. Can he hang on to it? 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank. Logano ducking in front of the 88. Now way up the racetrack they go. Diving to the bottom. Dale Earnhardt Jr. one last time down the Talladega super stretch. Newman has a car length in front of Keselowski. As they come into 3 and 4 for the final time. Keselowski on the high side, trying to take the lead away. Side by side as they exit 4. The tricky triangle they're about to come through. Contact made. Keselowski still in front. Through the trial will they go. Keselowski's going to win at Talladega.
He just won the race.
Credit One Bank. You may as well sweep the weekend. If you're going to do it, just take both of them.
That's right. Last year swept by Denny Hamlin. This year could be swept by Brad Keselowski. 24 career wins. Looking for career win 25. A Cup champion. But so far the trophy case is empty when it comes to a crown jewel race.
Brad Keselowski, with help of his pit crew, wins the race off pit road and will win the 69th Southern 500.
Yeah! For Southern 500 champion.
Get run and get by Hamlin on the front straightaway.
Brad Keselowski takes the lead. 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Eric Jones up to second. Keselowski, Jones 1 and 2. Hamlin falls back to third.
Holy cow, what a great last handful of laps we've had at Indianapolis. It's about to be the captain and Keselowski getting ready to drive into victory lane at the Brickyard. Keselowski is gone off 2.
Roger Penske has never won the Brickyard 400. 2 more corners, and Brad Keselowski is going to bring that gift to the boss man. Here he comes down in turn 3. A big lead on Eric Jones, who is a surprise second-place finish.
And not only a Brickyard 400 win, but think about the 2-car. They were pretty much unheard of in the regular season. 2 wins in a row now coming to the playoffs.
2 crown joyals. Last week it was the Southern 500. This week the Brickyard 400 for Keselowski.
Hell yeah, 2 marquees in a row. Are you kidding me?
And now, one more time around, the final lap in Vegas.
And how about Almirola back there underneath Blaney for 5th?
Keselowski trying to keep the momentum up. He won the Southern 500 2 weeks ago. Last week, he wins the Brickyard 400. And now, he's going to be able to punch his ticket into round 2. Coming out of turn 4, Keselowski wins 3 in a row. He'll win at Vegas.
Great job, everybody. Heck yeah.
What a battle.
Last lap at Atlanta. 3 car lengths is the difference.
Which way will he go? Which way will he go? Does he go
that
high?
time, that lap, Keselowski was faster. He goes back to the top in turn 2.
I love what Brad Keselowski did right there. He went to the bottom the lap before, went to the top this time. Truex really didn't know which lane to pick down in 1 and 2.
And that was the problem. He didn't know if he's going to go high or go low, and it took his line away.
There have been 4 last lap passes at Atlanta. Turn 4. For the final time, Brad Keselowski is going to win the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500.
Nice job, guys.
How to man flag. 1 to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. 3 car lengths the difference.
If he can close on him here off of turn 2, he can maybe get close enough to him. I don't know if he's quite close enough to him to get to his rear bumper.
Took a big wide entry into turn 1, drops right down to the curb and gets within a car length, but Keselowski powers off 4, and Brad Keselowski wins the STP 500. 4/10 up on Chase Elliott. Kyle file for second.
I think as long as these guys are side by side, I just don't think they can get a big enough run. Somebody's going to have
Boyer.
to. Oh,
Boyer almost drilled Eric Jones.
Yes, he did. I mean, he had Jones in his sights and let him go.
Now Jones with the run off the top.
Keselowski is loving this. When he looks in his mirror and those guys are side by side.
Yeah, they're side by side, side drafting. That's just opening up the door for the 2-car to do about whatever he wants. If they could get single file, maybe, but just
too late, baby.
Not going to happen.
Brad Keselowski for Team Penske wins in Kansas. Bowman second for the 3rd race in a row.
Guys, way to never give up.
That was an amazing run by that team right there. Paul Wolf.
Everyone's off behind you.
And Blaney.
Oh, I saw Bowman, I think, almost get into Kyle Busch, but keeps it going.
And 2 champions to settle it out here.
Leader sees the white flag.
Next flag ends the race. Keselowski, Johnson. Backstretch, final
He's got
time.
a pretty good run on Keselowski here. I don't know if he's close enough. Brad Keselowski.
3.5.
Off turn 4 into the checkered flag. Michigan's Brad Keselowski wins NASCAR's longest ever race.
Hell of a job. Hell of a job.
They touch.
Little bump and run there from Chase Elliott. They're up and in the wall. Here comes Keselowski.
Wow.
And Kyle Busch. Oh my goodness.
Boy, Chase just sent it in there and got loose, took them both out.
2 to go. Keselowski, Boyer for second from nowhere. Johnson third, Kyle Busch fourth, Eric Jones fifth. White flag, 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, only at Bristol.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Those tires working for Keselowski and those leaders.
He's going to steal another one.
Yeah, he is.
2 Sundays in a row.
Great job.
Brad Keselowski wins Bristol. Can you believe it?
Can't say I saw that one coming, Mike.
3 and 4 for the final time. And this will be career win number 33 for Brad Keselowski. He's going to win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Win in advance.
White flag, 1 more, 2.6. He won't get to you.
One more time around, you heard it. He won't get to you. 2.6 seconds, the difference between Keselowski and Martin Truex Jr. mentioned earlier. It was all the way back in 2014. 6 years ago, the last time Brad Keselowski won at Richmond. This one takes him all the way to the round of 12. He wins again at Richmond.
Man, that's awesome.
White flag in the air. Next flag in the race.
Oh no, Matty
He
D
gave
went
up on
high.
his plan. Now you got Brad Keselowski's got the heck of a push on the back of him.
The man with the plan, Brad Keselowski, has Michael McDowell in tow, and then Kevin Harvick.
Here comes a big run from the 8. Tyler Reddick's. Oh, but he's not going to push the 12 there. That's going to do it for Brad Keselowski on that inside lane. I'm not saying he's got the win. Now the 34 and the 4 got to get lined up. Look at Eric Jones.
Mile and a half to
that
go.
we talked about right there.
That Jones boy up into 4th.
Kevin Harvick with a run.
Chris Buescher back there, he's wrecking. He's in a wall.
Big run.
17 in the wall, but here they come.
What's McDowell going to do?
Down to the finish. One car turned in the fence. Keselowski, the leader. To the outside comes McDowell, and Brad Keselowski wins Talladega as one car goes sliding, spinning, slamming into the inside wall.
Man, that was wild.
It's going to need Chase Briscoe to lock onto him to push him by those two.
Keselowski had the run, but he's going to need the help. Here it comes. Big push from Kyle Busch and from Chase Briscoe.
He's locked on there, too.
He's going to have to stay there.
Inside was there for a second.
Another push from Kyle Busch on that outside.
Even mirror.
Cindric can't get too far out.
Coming to turn 3, where it all came undone last year on the final lap.
Briscoe's out. He can't get to the
Austin Cindric, whose grandfather won the Indy 500 as a car owner. Cindric is going to bring them to the line way up high to block Ryan Blaney, and at the line, Cindric beats Bubba Wallace by half a car length, and they crash going into turn 1.
This race never disappoints.
No, it does not.
And David Reagan found one he couldn't miss.
Austin Cindric, the winner of the Daytona 500.
If you remember in the pre-race, he said a rookie and the 2 cars never won.
Holy cow's right, kid. You just won the biggest race of your life.
23-year-old Austin Cindric from Mooresville, North Carolina in